Okay, today's project is a winch brake cylinder out of a Timberjack log splitter.
Okay, the T20 winch was a 20,000 pound line pull winch. Was used on all D series machines, and it was used later on in the A series machines, the smaller ones, the 225s, maybe 230s, I don't know. And then the big ones used the Gearmatic. It was powered by the transmission, so it allowed 4 forward winching speeds.
This would go on Hercules, Eaton, Timberjack. I don't know, had all 3 brands, I think, names on it. I think they call it a T20 winch. And it basically releases the brake band around it. There's a big spring inside of it like that. And that applies the brake, and then the hydraulic pressure releases the band and lets it free spool. And it basically, as oil goes in here, it releases the band and it simultaneously engages the clutch, and this thing starts winching and not drop the load if it's timed right. And there's a little orifice in there to make that all work right. But of course, this needs to be cleaned up before we can do anything. So we'll do that and take it apart. We've measured our nut location. That's kind of key for getting the correct free spool on the winch, so you can drag the cable out with the brake not dragging, and then still have it hold the load when you're skidding. So we got those dimensions all here. So hopefully we don't lose the paper.
Okay, it's going to take this apart. I wonder if he knows from earlier in the video if the thing's got a big spring in there. I wonder if it's going to take his head off. Oh, no, looks like he's got the gland tapped down in there a little bit, so must be no spring pressure there. Let's watch, see what happens. No, he's safe. Or maybe it's just sitting there waiting to explode. No, must not be. So basically there's a snap ring holding the gland in there, and pop that out of there. And then you got a spring and a spacer. And there was some oil on the back side of that piston, so that was leaking by there. It's a single acting cylinder. Hydraulically retracted, and then spring extends it. And the spring basically holds the brake on the winch, so when you're skidding you don't lose the winch. And then when you need to free spool, the hydraulic cylinder retracts and takes the brake off. So it's just cleaning stuff up here. And there will be a little sometimes rust in the bottom of that because it is exhausted to air. You gotta have some air in and out of there, which you can see the breather on the side of the cylinder barrel. Okay, he's holding with there's a flat on the shaft you can hold, so the rod doesn't spin. And there's an O-ring in there that's kind of holding up the rod from coming through there. I'll replace the seals in the gland. And then the piston is just like a V packing because it's a single acting cylinder. It's the same as like a snowplow cylinder if you ever had a snowplow lift cylinder apart. stack up on one half of the piston. The piston's two pieces. And the blue ones are like a hard plastic, and the black ones are softer rubber. Okay, gonna put some Vaseline on the seal so it slides on there a little bit easier. Oh yeah, look at it, slides right on there. Okay, and there's the bottom half of the piston. He's got the O-ring in there, which he shouldn't have in there yet. Now he can put his O-ring in. Make sure it's in the spot, and then the other half of the piston. And the nut. I don't know what you torqued that to, just good and tight. The book doesn't show a torque on it. Maybe it does, I just didn't look too hard. But it wasn't in with the winch near the brake cylinder assembly information, which you'd think it would be. I'm going to tap this back together and call it macaroni. Put the new spring in there. The new spring is quite a bit different than the old one, about 1/8 of an inch or more. So that'll hopefully improve the holding power. Put the spacer in there. Lube up our piston and our gland. Just tap it in there with a piece of pipe, just enough to get the snap ring back on there. So the initial complaint was the cylinder went the same direction, whether you were trying to hold or release, which didn't really make a lot of sense. So we did what the guy wanted. He wanted the cylinder rebuilt. We did that. But it just kind of didn't make sense, even if the cylinder packing would have to be just gone for that to do that. Now he's setting the nut back to where it was, so it'll be easier for the guys to set their free spool. Because if the brake drags, it's harder to pull the cable out, obviously. Alright, now we just got to find a little cap, put on the, keep shit out of there. That's done. Well, we got to pack up all the old parts so the customer knows we changed all the parts. There's the kit, spring, there's the cylinder. See you later. Now, 24 hours later, customer comes back. He's working with Amish Andy. Amish Andy's been running the machine because customers got tennis elbow. And apparently we were jerking on a log truck now, come to find out.